2000 Cadillac CTS. Customer complaint on this one is apparently to go in the reduced power mode, which I haven't seen it do yet myself. There'll be a bunch of U codes. Like I said, the right rear window will roll down by itself when they go through a car wash or if it's raining out. It's like a bunch of body control module function issues. So what I got going on down here is I got access to the body control module. Just had to pull some plastic, some panels away per service data, get it all the way. Communicating with the vehicle here. So I did a full system scan. If you look, engine module, auxiliary coolant pump. We'll have to look at that later if he wants us to address that. That's not the issue now. But the BCM has a battery voltage plausibility failure current, and it always has it. But there's also U codes for passenger. Let's see here: HVAC module, lost comm U code, the IPC, the BCM, HVAC lost comm with the IPC and the BCM. Device powered circuit low, memory seat. So yeah, I'm trying to film here today, but we got JJ and his kids working on more race cars. I'm making a race car. I'm trying to make that red one over there a race car. So yeah, anyways, we're gonna go back. We're gonna clear everything and go from there. Alrighty, while that's clearing, there's the BCM, the brake out there, how to get to it. Everything is gonna clear except the body control module. Well, the memory seat module we don't care about. The lumbar. Let's go back, rescan it. And I scanned this earlier. The body control module, that low voltage code always comes up. So we're going to take a look at that. Alright, it's finished scanning the BCM. I don't care about the other modules now. But what happens is, you go into the BCM, you read it, battery voltage plausibility failure current. So I'll clear it and it'll come up every time. Well, if you go to service data here, B1517 5A, B1517 5A is battery voltage plausibility failure. You know, short to ground or open high resistance. Circuit description: the BCM has the designated circuits for monitoring vehicle system voltage. The BCM monitors the system voltage to ensure the voltage stays within a proper range. Damage to components and incorrect data may occur when the system voltage is out of range. The BCM monitors the system voltage for extended length of time. If the BCM detects the voltage is outside the expected range, valid for a calibrated length of time, or the two BCM batteries send circuit differ by 2 volts, this will set. For conditions for setting the 15A, battery voltage differs by 2 volts on the BCM battery sensor for 10 minutes, or for 10 seconds. And it tells you what happens when it goes through it. We're going to go through all this stuff and troubleshoot it and look at our PIDs. But if you look at service data, the BCM on this car is the central gateway module for this bus system. From the GM LAN, the high speed and the low speed or medium speed LAN, whatever they use on this, it is the central gateway. So if that is having issues, that would address why he's having all these other issues. Of course, with his window, it's a BCM function, but also with all the other stuff, reduced power mode, because the BCM is the gateway module. So now what I want to look at is some live data. We're going to go to charging information. We're 11.87 at the DLC. All right, so battery voltage. Battery voltage is 11.8. Once it focuses here. Open voltage circuit. I'm not sure what this PID means here. 12.546. High resistance. We don't need that one. Let me start it and read these data PIDs again. Already got the vehicle running. Alternator voltage 14.6. Focus. Battery open circuit voltage is 12.546. I wonder if that's the difference between the two, but it showed that when it was off, so we got to figure that out. Go through our diagnostics and then see what we're going to do next. Our service data shows here diagnostic aids. A high or low voltage DTC. Set of multiple modules indicates a concern in the charging system. We don't have that. This DTC may be set by overcharging with a battery charger or jump starting. We didn't do that either. But it says inspect ground connection, ground 201, ensure this clean and tight. It must be the main BCM ground, I'd imagine. So we can look at the schematics and go through that. But what it tells you, engine running, accessories off, measure the record the voltage at the battery. Measure and record voltage at the battery voltage in the battery terminals. Voltage should be between 12.6 and 15. That's not within it, alternator, right? Okay, observe the scan to a BCM battery voltage parameter to reach between that and that. It says ignition off, disconnect the harness at the BCM, the connectors at the BCM, which is a few of them, a handful of them. Ignition off, test for less than 3 ohms between the ground circuit, the 9x4 and ground. If not within a specified range, test the ground, open high resistance. Basically, we're going to pull the circuit up and check these powers and grounds in here. I'll get that pulled up. And we're going to check all that. And then if that's all good, if it's not, you can replace the BCM. So let me get my schematics pulled up next. Alrighty, so we need to check ground 201. We also need to check basically make sure there's less than 3 resistance between the ground circuit and 9x4 and ground, which is, here's a schematic for it, X4 pin 9 and ground. That's ground 201. We'll check that ground because that's your BCM right here, and then make sure that's good. And then also check power coming from the 3x3 and the 10x4. 3x3, up here, and 10x4 from there. There's a lot of powers and grounds, but that's the ones apparently must be the sense circuit on this thing. So that's what we need to go after and find next. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to go right to ground 201 and go from there. Alrighty, so ground 201 is index 5 there, which is up there on the front driver's side. So pull that little panel off and look at that. Apparently in the past this vehicle had water intrusion in it from the sunroof, so maybe that's what got in there. We'll take a look at that and go from there. Alrighty, so I found the ground over here. Pop this little panel off. It's right there. A bunch of grounds go into it. Doesn't look corroded or nothing. Got a lead on there. And I got my other lead to a chassis ground or a battery ground. 0.2 millivolts. Right, so that's well within it. We're less than 50 millivolts. That tells me that's a good ground. We'll turn the key on engine off, see if we get the same thing. There's the battery back there. Let's turn key on engine off. See if we get the same results. .1. Alrighty, we got it running now. Let's see if we get the same results. 18, 19 millivolts. Yeah, 18, 19 millivolts. Which is good. We're less than 50 millivolts. So I think if we're less than 50, we're good there. What I want to do now, take it with a grain of salt, is check. We disconnected the X4 connector. We go to pin 9 to ground, so we've got good continuity. Now, just because it's got good continuity doesn't mean it's going to handle the load. So what we're going to do is we're going to check continuity, and then can piggyback off to take it to ground and see if we have any changes. So X4 9, this is X4 BCM. Pin 9 is going to be right there. I'll get that set up next. Alright, so I got the X4 connector, pin 9, black with a white tracer wire, hooked up, going to the ground over there. I'm only getting 0.4 of an ohm. Service data showed less than 3 ohms. We got 0.4, so we're good there. I'm gonna piggyback that the ground anyways and run our diagnostics, just because it's got good continuity, doesn't mean it can handle the load. I don't think that's gonna, I think it's gonna check good, but let's just eliminate that and move on from there. All right, so what I did now is I plugged it back in, I piggybacked it to ground with a long lead. I erased the codes. Let's read them again. Key on, engine off. Again, I don't believe this is the problem. Nope. Boom. Current right away. So it's not that ground. Moving on to powers next. Alright, now it wants us to check X3 pin 3. Make sure we got power there. So I disconnected this connector. X3 pin 3. Blue, orange wire. Blue connector. Got it broken out down there. It's kind of hard to see, but I got voltage, battery voltage. Of course, it's a negative because my polarity is reversed. Doesn't matter for what we're doing. But we got good voltage there. Now we're going to check the other one according to service data, which is going to be the X410 connector right there. And that, we did the 3X3. Now we're going to do the 10X4. I'll set that up next. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do now, I already started doing, I'm going to film it here. I'm checking power from here to here. So I disconnect the X410 connector and I'm checking for voltage. And I have it probed into there with a lead through my meter, and I have no voltage at all. So then, let me pause this and get for the next step. All right, so the next step is this fuse, which is RVC sensor 15 amp. If you look at schematics up here, it's this fuse right here, 10 amp, that feeds that circuit. Well, if I check it here on the bottom, I have 12 volts. Up here, I'm gonna give it power. Turn it off so it's not annoying. I'm gonna have somebody give it power. I'm gonna check it up here by the give it power. And I should have voltage. Got to give it power. Still nothing. So I have no voltage going to that. Of course, the fuse is good. All that's good. So now, what I need to do is get to the X260 pin 18 connector and split the circuit in half. We have no power coming in, and I believe that's why I have that code. That's why we have the issues with this car, communicating weird, doing weird stuff. Like I said, the BCM is the central gateway module, the right rear window going up and down. There's water that's spilled in this car. So let me get this pulled up next. There's the X260 connector, which I looked in service data here. Which I looked it up, but if you pull this panel apart over here, it's a 20 pin connector. It's this guy right here. So pull it apart and look what's in here. There's corrosion, top right, top left. So now we're going to see where our issue is at. All right, so the one we want is 18, which is 2 over on the male side. Should be an orange wire. Circuit 140. Circuit 140. So if you look, you go back. Oh, come on. 2 over on the left. Actually 3 over because it's 18. So if you're looking at this, oh, there it is. It's the third one over. 1, 2, 3. Right in front. I can't even talk. My thumb nailed there right on top of that. That's the pin that's bad. There's one up there too, but that pin. And it is hard to do this at the same time in film. That pin right there is the pin, which if you go in here, be the third one over in there. See what that looks like. Let me get that out of there so I can get a better look. Or my assistant, JJ Smile.
What's up, everybody?
He's my brother from another mother, my sister from another mister, and my
bestie.
Bestie from another testy. So shine the light in there. So anyways, the third pin over is the one that's bad. Well, if you look in there, I don't know if you can tell, but the damn pin looks like it's in there. Because if you go in here, you can, let me zoom in here. There you go, don't move. Perfect. Look on the, let me get this to focus. The bottom right there, there's a pin on the very right side. 1, 2, and then 3's missing. So let me get something to show you with my scribe. All right, so let me get zoom back in here. That's in the way there. All right, there's 1, 2, again, 1, 2, and 3 is completely gone. So, let me show you on the schematic again. Thanks, JJ. That pin is completely gone right there. That's why we're not getting power to that, which is not powering up that part of the BCM. We need to fix that. That'll restore the BCM power, get rid of that code, his windows will work, and they won't have all these U codes and weird reduced power codes and all that. So that's what we need to do next. Alright, before I end this video, I just want to show you the body control system, the BCM. Functions as the power master mode. Okay, right here. The BCM is the vehicle's function as a gateway or translator. Sorry, we got all these people being really loud. But anyways, the BCM is the gateway. The purpose of the gateway is to translate serial messages from the GM LAN, which is the high-speed bus, and the low-speed GM LAN bus between the various modules. The gateway will interact with each network according to the network's transmission protocol. So that, and it controls all the windows and door locks. That's why his window's going down. He's got all these U codes because of that connection over there. So to fix that, we have to basically get a new connector and pin it and wire it back up, or depin it and put it back in, clear the codes, and that'll fix this car. Now, I don't know if there'll be another video for that or not. Probably not, but that is the problem with this car. So that is it for this 2008 Cadillac CTS.